Welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of the G1 League LAN finals. I'm Gods, joined by Luminous here on the desk to introduce things for the day 2. We've had one day of pretty good games so far, I've got to say. Really enjoyed what we saw from a couple of teams, especially those who came out on top. Alliance, they looked good in the East, as did Orange Esports, as did LGD especially. But what are your thoughts? Yesterday, did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's going to be LGD clean sweep throughout the tournament, and then I kind of look back at the games where they won, and no discrediting LGD. They played very well, but on a similar note, their opponents weren't exactly drafting too well. DK had a very, very questionable draft, and the first opponent, well, the other opponent was IG, which there were some flames yesterday, particularly from me.
I mean, it's IG. At the end of the day, you beat IG. Whether it's IG playing bad, maybe not drafting as well as they normally do, it's still a win against a team like IG. So you can't really take much away from them. Alliance, another team who went 2-0, although I guess you could say similar things. Alliance Game 1, it was a fantastic, brilliant masterminded strat. Apparently S4, as well as the overall Alliance team, love to come up with strategies like this. It worked out well. They got a win against DK. Then their next match was the win against Liquid. So you consider Alliance to be that Tier 1 team above Liquid. They did beat them in the qualifier to get to the LAN finals. The win against DK is probably the more important win for them.
Well, I mean, just to paraphrase Curtis or Ali a little bit here, yeah, they won it, but they did it with a big advantage in the front with the level 1 Roshan. And for the rest of the game, they didn't really play perfectly. In fact, it was DK that played better in that game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the end of the day, it was Alliance 2-0 and DK 0-2. So, you know, you could play better, but against the right opponents or having the right strategies matter more. The W matters the most.
I think the team that most impressed me, and the one team you haven't mentioned you went to, was Orange. Orange played really well. They had 1 or 2 scrappy games, but that's kind of their play style. Mushi goes these Snowball Heroes, you see a lot of Queen of Pain.
Right.
And Orange is a team who you never know which Orange is going to show up. When they're good, they're really good. When they're bad, they can bottom out of the tournament. And they're playing really well. To me, more than anyone, they've impressed me the most. I don't think it means they're going to necessarily win the group stage or anything, but they definitely looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this during the pre-show. Orange is a team that always makes it 3-4-2. Like, they're always there. But you can't bet money on them in terms of winning tournament because
I think our list, when we went around, no one bet on Orange finishing top 2. I would bet on them finishing top 4, almost 100%.
Definitely.
They'll definitely get top 3, top 4, but
sure,
getting to the top 2 is something which Orange never seems able to do. It's like, even going back to the international, they finish tied 7th, 8th, I believe. They're always up there, but they're never quite breaching the top.
Well, there's a first time for everything, and they're 2-0 right now. They're in a very good position. Our first match of the day is going to be Alliance versus Orange, and that is going to be a very good indication of who perhaps going to be finishing very first. And if you do finish first and second in your group, what's the big deal there?
Yeah, well, first and second, you're guaranteed. If you finish first, you're guaranteed first place with the way things work here in this format. So it's definitely going to help
second place.
Guaranteed top 2. If you finish, if you get second,
so you guarantee first place.
No. Well, yeah, guaranteed top 2 if you finish first in the group. Guaranteed top 3 if you finish second in the group because you've signed that bubble race format. So it definitely helps you out a lot. As far as today's schedule, you can see our opening match. It is going to be Orange up against Alliance. Both teams 2-0. This is an important match if you want to be getting in that top stage of the group of your group stage. You've got Orange versus Alliance. That's going to be followed by LGD versus Liquid. Liquid need to get some points.
Yeah, they do.
If they lose that match, their fate is going to be looking very bleak. LGDs will be looking great because then they'll be 3-0. Then we've got our third match today, IG up against DK. Both teams without a win. This is...
For me, that's a sad matchup because statistically, these two teams one of them is impossible to actually make it to the second phase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know there still can be ties. That's where things... we don't know what the rules are with ties, much like we're here in LA, the tournament's going over in Shanghai. When problems go wrong, when show matches go haywire, we have no idea what's going on. We don't even get game passwords from the Chinese organizers.
We were just very stressed yesterday in terms of long broadcast. You could tell by Gods, he just basically pulled all of hairs out because it was just...
This is what happened.
It was a long day, really. And we do have a long day. There's 9 best of 1 here today.
I'm also freaking out because Ben has left.
Yeah.
If pauses happen, what do we do?
I'm very nervous on the one hand because, well, we don't have our tactical pause protection crew. That's one of the main reasons that we brought Merlini here. The other reason, well, the good news is he's gone, so now we can bust out the illicit substances, the fireworks, the drugs, the booze, and really go to town because the cops won't come. They're gone for now, Will.
He was actually pretty crazy. I think out of all the people,
He really
that-
was.
He was actually doing the subsistence and dunking into the pool.
I don't want to
and
ruin Merlini's reputation here. He's a very nice kind.
he's been professional
Dota
when
player.
he needed
Oh,
to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was
When he
great.
had to cast, he was very professional. When he didn't have to cast, he didn't give two hoots. I think that's the fair way.
I
to
loved
put it.
having him here. It was a lot of fun. So definitely, for those of you who didn't see some of Merlini's casts, check it out on all the VODs as well as be sure to follow him if you liked on Twitter. He's Merlini Dota. But we're going to get things underway. I believe the two teams are signed to get into the lobby. We're going to introduce our first match of today. It's Orange up against Alliance, as you've already seen and been introduced to. We're going to have LD as well as Blitz on the casting desk. Let's run through our team introductions now. Team Orange versus Alliance. We've got Orange Esports, Mushi the carry player. He's too effing pro.
He is 2FM Pro, to quote a certain player out there.
Have to see whether he's going to be... Well, he's the carry player, but we saw
Sure.
some Queen of Pain yesterday, so it's not really guaranteed. We had a Hayo who's sort of generally your solo mid player, but he was playing some trialing Juggernaut. We had KYXY, who's their third position player, coming up next. He was playing some of that solo lone druid. To me, Orange is a team where they'll see their draft and then put certain players on certain heroes that they're good at. KYXY plays their lone druid. If it's a solo mid lone druid, he'll go there. Then we have your two support players. Extinct, almost always on that 4-position support, known for playing heroes like Chen, Sand King, Leshrak, and then finally Net, one of the best support players, the former MUFC player, with Shadow Fiend still there, which is meant to be Shadow Demon, I'm pretty sure of, but it still shows Shadow Fiend as one of his signature heroes. I can't even remember.
You know, though, Gods, the one thing, we didn't really see that jungle play from Extinct yesterday. We didn't see
No.
that more passive kind of play from Orange where they just get a Chen and they get greedy in the jungle, but something maybe they'll have in mind depending on the
I
drafts
think
here today.
Alliance as well as Orange, they both love that Chen. So almost without a doubt, it's a hero that could quite likely come out. I think Alliance probably don't have a pocket strat like we saw yesterday prepared for Orange. They're probably going to go for a more
You'll be
standard style
surprised.
play.
You'll be
Do they-
surprised. I'm pretty
five
sure they have-
matches, 5 pocket strats.
Well, no.
Beatus told me we ain't seen nothing yet, so...
And I would agree with Beatus. I'm pretty sure they have some things prepared. Maybe they won't use it now, but they might have it once they make it deeper in tournament. Of course, these are the boys from West Loda, Living Legend as he calls himself. Will be playing
Living
on
Dota Legend, yeah.
Living Dota Legend, yeah, playing on the 1 row. Of course, our 2 row player is going to be S4, which in my opinion, probably the best mid player in the West, which is saying
Yeah.
a lot because there's Dandy, there's Scando, but
This is in the context of like actual decision making, the
Sure.
greatest scheme of things. Because
Yeah.
as some people, someone tweeted at me when I said this, like, man, Fierce the best 1v1 player. He won the 1v1 tournament, but that's strictly
different
1v1.
story, yeah.
Nothing. You're taking out all the other factors in the game.
of course, our third player here is going to be Emerald Bulldog. Very famous. It was Lone Druid, but more particular, I think his Nature's Prophet is not getting the love that it deserves. Just wins the long lane by himself. Just stacks jungle like a pro.
This guy can now add to his resume that he's solo killed Burning.
Yeah.
Admiral Bulldog solo killed Burning.
Which is actually
It was a bit of a mismatch. It was Lone Druid versus Gyrocopter, and Lone Druid had a 1-level head start. AUI was saying basically this matchup is entirely reliant on Gyrocopter not falling behind, and he was a level behind because of the level 1
before the
Roshan.
creeps
But
even met. Yeah.
hey, Bulldog's resume, solo killed Burning 1v1.
Aki, in my opinion, one of the best supports in Europe. His Enchantress and Chen play has been phenomenal throughout, and he plays pretty good other supports like Rubik and
Yep.
whatnot.
And once again, some of these players' birthdays have been somewhat fabricated. The information from Alliance was not there. We did ask them actually for some birth dates as well as hometowns, but hometown Sweden, we've got EGM. Do we see a Wisp today?
DK banned it yesterday. I think Orange will
I
respect
think
ban it
IG
as well.
will. I definitely think the Chinese teams will ban. I feel if any team doesn't, maybe Orange won't. Maybe Orange will say, "We've got this. We can deal with it."
No, we're kind of talking about here. I want to bring up an Orange-esque hero, the Tinker. We
Yeah.
haven't seen it being played too much, and against a particular play style of Lions, which is early game pressure, early game aggression, Tinker is probably the best hero you could have. And to me, Alliance have to ban this hero out.
Second stage ban, though.
Sure,
you'd say.
sure.
I feel also Alliance, when they get ahead, they like to keep taking down towers, siege your base. Tinker's great for stopping that.
Yep.
So maybe her we see come out. It looks like Alliance, I mean, you can see here, almost that perfect hexagon.
I mean, I would even say I might give them a 10 for draft. It is close after yesterday. They were by
Yeah.
far the most creative team. They can run the kind of those stable defensive strategies if they need to. You know, your 4 protect 1. They can run the early timing pushes. They've shown if anybody can pull kind of a trick out of the hat blitz, then Alliance is certainly that team.
Yeah, we saw at DreamHack especially, you know, they had a different roster there, but they did that fake Roshan strat, and now it's come
Right.
full circle with the real Roshan strat. And, you know, that's something that really surprises me. If they get dire like that every time, how are teams going to learn to deal with that, right? Especially since you just sprung it on them right now. And if you pick a lineup like that, like, do you chance TPing yourself and smoke, and
I
if
think-
you waste that, like
I think the big thing is the second stage band. If you see them start building something like that, you say, okay, we need a well, Ursa's without Ursa, they can't kill Roshan that fast. Maybe Ursa's a hero
Ursa
they
is the
ban.
key hero. I mean, you start with a dirt pick Beastmaster. That's already a telltale sign because Beastmaster, good hero, not worth the dirt pick on the
The
first
other
stage.
the thing I was really smart about that is they knew they could get Lone Druid if they gave away Lifestealer. They were willing to give away Lifestealer, and then because that meant they got the Lone Druid, which meant their Roshan strat would work.
Which I personally found very surprising because Lifestealer is not a hero that you want to give away.
Lifestealer giving Chinese teams Lifestealer is just a death sentence. But
Normally. Obviously, the Alliance had the answers for that yesterday. And I guess the other interesting hero to talk about is Lone Druid, because KYXY played a really good one yesterday. Of course, we all know about Admiral Bulldog. He's a bit more of a flashy Lone Druid player, but KYXY is definitely good enough at the hero to get the job done. He's a strong hero. I won't be surprised if he goes very early, even for Orange, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I'm really excited to see what a team like Alliance has next. I mean, the first game they played against DK, they had that pocket strat ready, and then the game they played against a Western team that they're more familiar with in
It was much more standard.
in Liquid, yes. And then now, how will they do against an Asian team like Orange, who actually is 2-0? They're playing hot. They actually beat IG yesterday, which I predicted.
Right.
And then now, will Alliance just kind of play standard, and how will they do in a situation where just our play against yours?
I'm interested to see as well. I mean, guys, looking at this matchup, any other sort of key heroes, things that you think really might come into play? For me, I feel like Orange does really well when Mushi has a hero who can set the tempo for the game. They kind of remind me a bit in some ways of